Hello there, and welcome to my mini-series Star Wars The Clone Wars The Original Seasons. In this video we'll be covering Season 6, also known as The Lost Missions. Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 6 officially released on March 7, 2014 on Netflix. Released as The Lost Missions and also promoted as the final season, this season's final version was about half the length of all previous seasons, coming in at only 13 episodes. This consisted of the 10 episodes that were too far along in production when the show was cancelled to scrap, as well as the 3 Rush Clovis episodes that were last minute delayed from Season 5. This season of the Clone Wars acted as the last season of the show for 6 years before the 12 episode Season 7 release in 2020. Here is a list of the episodes that were released in the Lost Missions version of the season. Here you can see how the Rush Clovis episodes have a production code from the 4th production season, while the rest of the story arcs were from the 5th production season, basically making the final version of this season a way for them to wrap up all but one of the story arcs that were produced in that season. As mentioned in the Season 5 video, the Rush Clovis arc was originally meant to air in the previous season. While this plan was still in effect, I believe that the plan for Season 6 was as follows, with the following arcs meant to air: 512 to 515, the Inhibitor Chip Conspiracy; 516 to 517, The Disappeared; 518 to 521, Yoda's Journey; 522 to 525, The Bounty Hunter Arc; 601 to 604, Crystal Crisis on Utapau; and 605 to 608, Ahsoka's Walkabout. Not only would this have completed the 5th production season, but also brought us into the 6th, which would have started what I see as the 3rd and final act of the Clone Wars, with the character designs once again being updated to be close to Revenge of the Sith. This version of Season 6 would have contained the show's standard 22 episodes, which would have been the 5th season to do so, considering the previous would have had 23 at this point. The Disappeared arc is notable for being the last story arc of the Clone Wars that was less than 4 episodes long. Another note is Dooku's outfit in Sacrifice was actually created as a cost-saving measure to use for future story arcs instead of using his standard outfit, which would have been costly with the cape physics. Please note that the episode titles for the Bounty Hunter arc are concept ones created by me, as the official episode titles were never revealed to the public. Also to note with regard to episode titles is that it's most likely the original version of Gone with a Trace had a different name due to the arc at the time having Nick Sokomi instead of Trace Martez, and is highlighted in yellow to reflect as such. You can also see that only 2 story arcs from the 6th production season would have actually aired in the 6th season. This would have continued a Clone Wars trend of the production seasons getting further ahead, a trend that would have continued into the next 2 seasons. In October 2012, the decision to delay the Rush Clovis arc from the 5th to the 6th season was made. With this version of Season 6, another 3 episodes would have been added to it, making the total episode count 25, which would have been the longest season the show would have had. I believe this was the plan between October 2012 and March 2013, before the Clone Wars was completely cancelled. As you can see, the overall air order of these arcs are placed into their production order. By this point in the show, I believe the original full version of Season 6 would have aired in this order, with the second half of the season opening with a break from the main trio of characters to instead focus on all the bounty hunters. Crystal Crisis on Utapau would have then aired as the penultimate story of the season, giving us a glimpse into Anakin's feelings about Ahsoka, while the last arc of the season, Ahsoka's Walkabout, would have then showed us exactly where Ahsoka was. Another reason I believe Ahsoka's Walkabout would have been the Season 6 finale is based on how Season 2, 3 and 5 also ended with an Ahsoka focused episode, and I believe this common pattern would have continued. If this season was to have aired in full on Cartoon Network, I see it having aired its first half from September to December 2013, while the second half consisting of the 3 story arcs that never made it into the final Season 6, being aired from January to March 2014. At the time of the cancellation, the 3 additional story arcs meant for this season had got to the voice acting stage and had full story reels. Sadly, as of the time of this video, 2 of the 3 story arcs have not had a finished release in any media, with the Crystal Crisis story reels even being removed from StarWars.com. Not being planned as the final season, this season was meant to be followed by another 2 more. While another shortened one would follow 6 years later, the original planned 7th and 8th seasons would never be completed. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe and comment. Until the next time, goodbye.